Chosen one, if you are hearing this voice right now, stop scrolling. Do not click away. Do not even breathe differently yet. Because what I am about to tell you has been deleted from your awareness 3 times today. Not by accident. By design. There is a reason you cannot sleep tonight, and it has nothing to do with caffeine, stress, or your mattress. You were kept awake by something far more intentional. The Holy Spirit has been knocking on the door of your consciousness all day, and you kept saying, "Not now." Well, now he is not asking anymore. You did not find this video. This video found you. And not because of an algorithm. Because there is a sanctuary that exists between midnight and dawn that has your name carved into its doorframe. And tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, tonight is your one chance to step inside before the door closes at sunrise. Listen to me carefully. Tomorrow will be too late. Not because God is punishing you, but because the version of you that wakes up tomorrow without hearing this message will spend another 30 days trapped in the same exhausted loop you have been in. And I cannot let that happen to you. If your spirit is confirming this word right now, I need you to do 3 things. Subscribe to join the thousands of chosen ones who are learning to sleep in God's arms again. Hit like if you recognize this is not coincidence but divine appointment, and comment the number 777, not as superstition, but as a signal to heaven that you are ready to receive what has been prepared for you in the midnight hour. Because here is what God just showed me about you specifically. You have been standing guard over your own life for so long that you forgot what it feels like to be guarded. You have been so busy holding everything together that your arms are trembling. And tonight, the Father is saying, "Put it down. I have got it. You can sleep now." But you do not believe that yet, do you? There is a voice in your head saying, "If I let go, everything will fall apart." I know. I hear it too. That is why we are here. That is why this message fought through 3 deletions to reach you. Feel where your jaw is clenched right now. That tightness? That is not tension. That is you holding a door closed that God is trying to open from the other side. Your body has been sending you signals all day. The knot in your throat when someone asked if you were okay. The weight in your chest when you laid down 30 minutes ago and realized sleep was not coming. Again. The way your shoulders have been up near your ears for so long, you forgot they are supposed to hang loose. Let me tell you what is really happening. You are not dealing with ordinary insomnia. There are 3 types of sleeplessness. The first type, doctors can fix with pills. The second type, a better routine, can solve. But the third type, the one you have, only heaven can touch. And that is exactly why you are here. You are suffering from what I call the insomnia of the abandoned soul. This is not about being tired. This is about a soul that cannot rest because it believes that if it stops watching, stops guarding, stops holding vigil, something terrible will slip through the cracks. I need you to go back with me to a specific moment. It is 3:47 in the morning. You are sitting on the edge of your bed. Your feet are on the cold floor. The room is dark except for the blue light from your phone that you have picked up and put down 11 times in the last 20 minutes. You are not checking messages. You are just holding it because it is something to hold. And in that moment, there is a thought running through your mind that you have never said out loud because you are afraid of how it sounds. The thought is this: if I fall asleep, who will take care of me? If I let my guard down, who will catch me? If I stop fighting, who will fight for me? That is the wound. Right there, the belief that you are alone in the watching, that God might be real, might be powerful, might even love you, But when it comes to the 3 a.m. hours of your life, you are on your own. And because you believe you are alone, you cannot sleep. Because sleep requires trust. Sleep requires surrender. Sleep requires believing that someone bigger than you is holding the world together while your eyes are closed. And you lost that belief somewhere along the way. Maybe it was the night you cried yourself to exhaustion and woke up to find nothing had changed. Maybe it was the season you prayed for help and the help never came, so you learned to help yourself. Maybe it was the betrayal that taught you the only person you can count on is you. I do not know when it happened, but I know it did. And I know you have been standing guard over your own life ever since. Your body is exhausted, but your soul will not let you rest. Because rest feels like abandonment. Rest feels like giving up. Rest feels like the moment the enemy has been waiting for to strike. So you lie there, eyes open, mind racing, running through tomorrow's problems tonight, rehearsing conversations that have not happened yet, calculating worst-case scenarios, playing defense against invisible threats. And the more you try to force yourself to sleep, the more awake you become. Let me tell you what God just whispered to me about you. He said, "My child has been standing watch on a tower I never assigned them to. They are guarding a door I already locked. They are protecting a life I already claimed. And they are so tired, so deeply tired, not just body tired, soul tired, bone tired, tired of being strong, tired of being vigilant, tired of being the one who has to hold it all together. And tonight, He wants you to hear this. You are not a guard, you are a child. And children do not stand watch. Children sleep while their father keeps vigil. But before I tell you how to step down from that tower, I need to show you something else. Because there is a second layer to your sleeplessness that is even deeper than the first. And it has to do with tomorrow. You are not just afraid of tonight, you are terrified of tomorrow. And that terror is what keeps you awake more than anything else. Let me show you what I mean. Think about this. When you finally do fall asleep, even for 2 or 3 hours, what wakes you up? It is not noise, it is not light. It is a jolt of panic, a sudden thought, a flash of fear. And the thought is always some version of this: I forgot something. I am not ready. Tomorrow is coming, and I am not prepared. Tomorrow has become your enemy, not today. Today you survived. Today you made it through. But tomorrow? Tomorrow is the unknown variable. Tomorrow is the test you have not studied for. Tomorrow is the bill you cannot pay. Tomorrow is the conversation you are dreading. Tomorrow is the moment your weakness will be exposed. And the cruel irony is this: you are losing tonight trying to prepare for tomorrow. You are sacrificing your rest trying to control what has not happened yet. And it is killing you. Let me ask you something. What if I told you that your fear of tomorrow is not accidental? What if I told you there is a reason tomorrow looms over you like a threat? And what if I told you that the solution is not to have more faith in tomorrow, but to have faith in someone who is already standing in tomorrow, waiting for you? Most people will tell you, just have faith, just trust God, just believe it will work out. And you nod your head because it sounds right. But inside, you are screaming, I am trying. I want to trust. But how do I trust in something I cannot see when everything I can see is falling apart? Here is what they are not telling you. God does not want you to have faith in tomorrow. He wants you to have faith that He is already in tomorrow. There is a difference. Faith in tomorrow says, I hope it works out. Faith in God, in tomorrow says, He is already there, and He has already won, and all I have to do is walk into a victory that is already decided. Do you see the shift? You are not stepping into the unknown. You are stepping into a room where God has been setting the table, preparing the way, dismantling the traps, and silencing the accusers. Tomorrow is not a threat. Tomorrow is a promise that has already been opened and read in the courts of heaven. But you cannot receive that truth while you are standing guard. You cannot hear that promise while your fists are clenched. You cannot walk into tomorrow's victory while you are trying to survive tonight's fear. And that is why tonight matters so much. Because tonight is not just about sleep. Tonight is about permission. Permission to stop. Permission to surrender. Permission to be weak. Permission to let someone else carry the weight for the next 8 hours. And I am about to give you that permission. Not from me. From the one who has authority over your rest. From the King who wrote a decree with your name on it that says, this child is allowed to sleep. Here is what it says. By order of the King of Kings, you are permitted to be tired. You are allowed to not have all the answers right now. You are released from the responsibility of holding the universe together. Heaven's law states clearly, burdens are not allowed to follow you into bed. They must stay outside the door. And the Father's command is this: tonight you are a child, not a warrior. Let that sink in for a moment. Tonight you are a child, not a warrior. A warrior stands guard. A child sleeps in safety. A warrior scans for threats. A child dreams in peace. A warrior cannot rest until the battle is over. A child rests because someone stronger is fighting for them. You have been a warrior for too long. And God is saying, the shift is over. Someone else is taking the night watch. And that someone is me. Now, I know what you are thinking. This sounds beautiful. But how? How do I actually do this? How do I stop my brain from racing? How do I turn off the fear? How do I make my body believe it is safe when my mind knows all the reasons it is not? I am going to show you. But before I do, I need you to understand something critical. What I am about to teach you is not a technique. It is not a meditation hack. What I am about to walk you through is a transfer, a spiritual transfer of guard duty from your hands into God's hands. And this transfer has 3 stages. Stage 1 is the ritual. Stage 2 is the sanctuary. And stage 3, I cannot tell you yet. Because if I tell you stage 3 before you have experienced stage 2, you will resist it. You will think I am exaggerating. You will think it is too good to be true. So, you have to trust me. Walk through stage 1 and 2 first. Then, I will reveal stage 3. And when I do, it will make perfect sense. But here is what I can tell you. This is not just about tonight. If you do what I am about to show you, within 3 nights, you will experience a sleep so deep you will wake up confused about what day it is. Within 7 nights, someone will look at you and say, something is different about you. And within 21 nights, the nightmares that have been on repeat will stop mid-scene. I am not guessing. I am telling you what God just showed me. And if you want to see it happen, you need to stay with me, because in the next part of this message, I am going to walk you through the guard duty transfer ritual. It is a 90-second process that will change tonight. And once you have done the ritual, I am going to show you the sanctuary, the invisible room between your sleep and tomorrow's dawn, where God does surgery on your soul while you rest. But here is the thing. The ritual only works if you do it exactly as I show you, and the sanctuary only appears to those who have truly surrendered in the ritual. So, do not skip ahead. Do not think you already know. Stay with me, because what you are about to do in the next few minutes will determine whether you sleep tonight or stare at the ceiling for another 4 hours. So here is the first decree, and I want you to hear it not as advice but as law, as commandment from the throne room of heaven. By order of the Most High, your weariness is not weakness, it is evidence. Evidence that you have been carrying what was meant to be shared. Evidence that you have been awake when you were designed to rest. And tonight, that evidence is being entered into the record as proof of your faithfulness, not your failure. Second decree. The Father declares over you right now, guilt is no longer permitted to cross the threshold of your bedroom. It must wait outside. Tomorrow's worries must wait outside. Yesterday's regrets must wait outside. Tonight, your bed is a sanctuary, and only peace is allowed to enter. Third decree, and this is the one that will break something loose in your spirit. You are hereby released from the lie that rest equals weakness. The King of Kings himself rested on the seventh day, not because he was tired, but because rest is holy. Rest is worship. Rest is the ultimate act of trust. And tonight you are commanded to worship through surrender. Now, here is what I need you to understand about these decrees. They are not suggestions. They are spiritual legislation. And when heaven passes a law, every demon, every fear, every anxiety has to obey it. Which means, the moment you agree with these decrees, something shifts in the atmosphere over your life. So in your mind right now, I need you to say yes to each one. You do not have to say it out loud, but in your heart, agree. Say, I receive the decree that my weariness is not weakness. Say, I agree that guilt cannot cross my bedroom threshold. Say, I accept that rest is holy. Good. Something just shifted. You might not feel it yet, but heaven heard that agreement, and angels just took new positions around your sleep tonight. Now we move to stage 1, the transfer ritual. And I need you to stay with me because this is not symbolic, this is not visualization for the sake of feeling better, this is a real spiritual transaction. You are about to hand off guard duty, and God is about to receive it. Here is how it works. In your mind, I want you to see yourself standing on top of a stone watchtower. This is the tower you have been stationed at for longer than you can remember. You are wearing armor, not the armor of God. The armor of self-protection. The chest plate of, I have to be strong. The helmet of I cannot let anyone see me weak. The gauntlets of I will handle this myself. And you are looking out over the landscape of your life, scanning for threats, watching for danger, waiting for the next thing to go wrong. You have been standing here so long your legs ache, your back hurts, your eyes burn from lack of sleep. But you cannot leave your post because you believe, if you do, everything you are protecting will fall apart. Now, I want you to hear something. Behind you, there are footsteps, heavy, steady, slow. Someone is climbing the stone stairs of your tower, and you know who it is before you turn around. It is the Father. He has come to relieve you of duty. He walks up beside you and looks out at the same landscape you have been guarding. And then he turns to you and says something you have been waiting your whole life to hear. I have got it from here. You have done enough. It is time to come down. And here is where the ritual begins. I want you to imagine reaching up and removing the helmet of hypervigilance. Feel the weight of it in your hands. It is heavier than you thought, heavier than it should be. That is because it was never yours to carry. Hand it to him. Watch him take it. Watch him set it down on the stone wall. You will not need that anymore. Now the chest plate, the one that says, I have to hold it all together, unbuckle it, let it fall open. Feel the cold air hit your skin where the metal was pressing. You have been so armored for so long you forgot what it feels like to breathe deeply. Hand him the chest plate. Watch him take it. You will not be defending yourself tonight. He will do that. Now, the gauntlets, the gloves of control. Take them off. One finger at a time. Slowly. Feel your bare hands. Hands that have been gripping, clenching, holding, straining. Let them be empty. Let them be open. Hand him the gauntlets. And now, this is the hardest part. You have to turn your back on the landscape. You have to stop scanning for threats. You have to descend the tower. And I know that terrifies you. Because what if something happens while you are walking away? What if the moment you stop watching, the enemy strikes? But look, he is still standing there. He has not moved. He is taking your position, and unlike you, he does not need sleep. He does not need breaks. He does not get distracted. He sees everything. And he is saying to you right now, I have been watching this whole time. You were never alone. You just did not notice me because you were too busy trying to be me. So take the first step. Turn toward the stairs. Walk down, one step at a time. Feel the stone beneath your feet, cold, solid, real. Count the steps if you need to. There are 12. One for each hour of the night he will watch while you sleep. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3. And as you descend, feel something leaving your body. The tension in your shoulders starts to release. The tightness in your jaw loosens. The knot in your stomach unwinds. You are not doing this. It is happening to you, because you are leaving the place of striving and entering the place of surrender. When you reach the bottom of the tower, you see something you did not expect. There is a door you have never noticed before because you were always up on the tower looking out, never down here looking in. And the door is made of light, not wood, not metal, light, pure light. And above the door, carved into stone, is your name. Not the name people call you, the name God calls you. And underneath your name, there are words. Words in a language you do not speak but somehow understand. They say, the midnight sanctuary, for the chosen one who has stood guard long enough. This is stage 2, the sanctuary. And I need to tell you something about this place before you walk through that door. This sanctuary has always existed. It was built for you before you were born. It is the place where God does his deepest work on your soul while you sleep. Most people never find it because they never come down from the tower. But you just did. And the door has recognized your footsteps. Now, when you walk through this door, there are 7 rooms. Each room serves a different purpose in your restoration. The first room is the room of unburdening. This is where everything you are carrying that is not yours gets removed. When you step into this room, you will feel things falling off your shoulders that you did not even know you were holding. Shame from 10 years ago. Guilt from last week. Fear about next month. It all falls. You do not have to do anything. Just stand there and let it drop. The second room is the room of mending. This is where the fractures in your soul get fused back together. The places where betrayal cracked you. The places where disappointment broke you. The places where exhaustion shattered you. In this room, there is a warmth that spreads through your chest, and you realize something that was split is becoming whole again. The third room is the room of silence, and this room terrifies most people because there is no sound, no music, no voice, just stillness. But this is where God speaks loudest. This is where you hear the things he has been whispering that you were too loud to hear. And in this room, you realize that the silence you feared is actually the embrace you needed. The fourth room is the room of restoration. This is where what the enemy stole gets returned: energy, hope, dreams, the ability to feel joy. They are all stored in this room, waiting for you to reclaim them. And when you walk into this room, you feel something that has been numb for months suddenly come back to life. The fifth room is the room of realignment. This is where your identity gets adjusted back to truth. The lies you believed about yourself get erased. The labels people put on you get torn off. And you see yourself the way heaven sees you, not as a failure, not as too much or not enough, but as exactly who you were created to be. The sixth room is the room of release. And this is where the hardest work happens. This is where you have to let go of the one thing you have been holding on to, because letting go feels like losing. For some of you, it is control. For some of you, it is a relationship that ended. For some of you, it is the version of yourself you used to be. And in this room, God will gently pry your fingers open, one at a time, until you finally drop it. And the moment you do, you realize your hands are now free to receive what he has been trying to give you all along. But there is a seventh room, and I cannot tell you what happens in the seventh room, not because it is a secret, but because the seventh room only appears after you have fully surrendered in the sixth. If I tell you what it is now, your mind will try to skip ahead. You have to walk through the process. Trust me, when you get to the seventh room, you will know, and it will be worth every step. Now, let me ask you something, and I need you to answer this honestly, even if the answer is uncomfortable. What if you are afraid of this sanctuary? What if part of you does not want to let go? What if there is a voice inside you saying, if I surrender, I will lose myself. If I rest, I will become weak. If I let God take over, I will stop being able to fight. I need to talk to that part of you for a moment. The part that is resisting. The part that is holding on. The part that is terrified of what happens if you stop being strong. That part of you is not your enemy. That part of you has been protecting you for a long time. That part of you stood guard when no one else would. That part of you kept you alive through seasons that should have destroyed you, and I want you to honor that part. Thank it. Tell it. You did your job. You kept me safe. And I am so grateful. But now, I need you to hear something that might be hard. That part of you, the hyper-vigilant protector, was never meant to be in charge forever. It was meant to be temporary. It was meant to guard you until you found someone stronger. And you just did. His name is Yahweh, and he is here to take the night shift. So you do not have to kill that protective part of you. You do not have to fight it. You just have to retire it, with honor, with gratitude, and with the understanding that its job is complete. And I know this is scary, because if you stop being the one who holds it all together, who are you? If you stop being the strong one, the vigilant one, the one everyone depends on, what is left? Here is what is left, the real you. The you that God designed before the world taught you to be a warrior. The you that laughs easily. The you that rests deeply. The you that trusts completely. That version of you has been buried under armor for so long you forgot it existed. But it is still there. And tonight, in the sanctuary, that version of you gets to come back. Let me tell you about someone who walked this exact path. Her name is Sarah. And before she found the Midnight Sanctuary, She had not slept a full night in 83 days. 83. I want you to hear that number. 83 nights of staring at the ceiling. 83 nights of 3 a.m. panic. 83 nights of racing thoughts and pounding heart, and the horrible awareness that the sun is going to rise in 3 hours, and she still has not slept. She tried everything: melatonin, white noise, meditation apps, sleep hypnosis videos, prescription pills. Nothing worked, because her insomnia was not a chemical problem. It was a spiritual wound. And then one night, night 83, something broke. She was sitting on the edge of her bed, hands gripping the mattress so hard her knuckles went white, and she whispered one sentence: "God, I cannot hold this anymore, take it." She did not shout it, she did not cry it, she barely breathed it, but heaven heard it. And in that moment, something in the atmosphere shifted. She described it like this. She said, "Within 30 seconds, my shoulders started shaking. Not crying shaking, releasing shaking, like my body knew something my mind did not, that the transfer had happened, that I was no longer carrying it." And then, for the first time in 83 nights, she cried. Not sad crying, relief crying. The kind of crying that only happens when pressure that has been building for months finally finds a release valve. And while she was crying, she fell asleep. Mid-tears, just dropped into sleep, like falling through a trapdoor. She slept for 11 hours. 11. And when she woke up, she said the first thing she noticed was not that she felt rested, it was that she felt lighter. Like gravity had changed. Like she had been carrying a backpack full of stones, and someone took it off while she was sleeping. I am telling you Sarah's story, because I need you to know this is real. This is not theory. This is not metaphor. This transfer actually works. And what happened to her on night 83 can happen to you tonight. But here is what you need to understand. Sarah did not just get a good night's sleep. She got her life back. Because once she learned to surrender at night, she learned to surrender during the day. And everything changed. The job that was suffocating her, she found the courage to quit. The relationship that was draining her, she set boundaries. The dream she thought was dead, she picked it back up, all because she learned to sleep. Or more accurately, she learned to let God watch while she rested. And tonight, you are standing where Sarah stood on night 83. The only question is, will you whisper the same sentence? God, I cannot hold this anymore. Take it. Now I need to tell you something that is going to sound impossible. And I need you to stay with me, even if your mind immediately says, that cannot be true. Because what I am about to reveal is the part God told me to save until you had walked through the ritual and entered the sanctuary. If I had told you this at the beginning, you would not have believed it. But now that you have done the work, you are ready to hear the truth. Everything I have told you so far, the decrees, the transfer, the sanctuary, all of that is level 1. Level 1 is about rest, and rest is good. Rest is necessary. But God did not bring you to this video just so you could get 8 hours of sleep. He brought you here because tonight is not just about closing your eyes. Tonight is about closing a chapter and opening a new one. There are 3 levels to tonight. And most people never get past level 1 because they think rest is the goal. But rest is only the foundation. Let me show you what I mean. Level 1 is rest. This is where your body recovers, where your nervous system resets, where the physical exhaustion gets addressed. And yes, you need this. Your body is screaming for this. But if you only experience level 1, you will wake up tomorrow feeling rested, but still stuck. Still in the same patterns. Still carrying The same wounds, just better rested. Level 2 is restoration. This is where the surgery happens. This is where God goes into the operating room of your soul while you are unconscious and starts repairing things that have been broken for years. Thought patterns that have been toxic, belief systems that have been poisoned, identity fractures that have been bleeding. At level 2, you do not just rest. You get restored to factory settings. The you before the trauma. The you before the betrayal. The you before the world taught you to be afraid. But there is a level 3. And level 3 is where everything I have been building to is heading. Level 3 is resurrection. And here is what that means. You are not just going to wake up rested. You are not just going to wake up restored. You are going to wake up as someone you have never been before. A version of yourself that has been buried under survival mode for so long you forgot it existed. The bold version. The free version. The version that does not ask permission to take up space. Let me say that again because I need you to catch this. Tonight, while you sleep, you are going to die. Not physically. Spiritually. The old version of you, the one who has been carrying everything, the one who cannot rest, the one who is afraid of tomorrow, that version is going to die in the midnight sanctuary. And when you wake up, you are going to be resurrected, new, not improved, new. I know what you are thinking right now. There is a voice in your head saying, "That is too good to be true. One night cannot change me like that. I have been this way for years, decades. There is no way 8 hours of sleep can undo all of that. And if this were just about sleep, you would be right. But this is not sleep. This is covenant rest. This is the kind of rest that only happens when heaven intervenes. Let me show you the pattern. In John chapter 11, Jesus gets word that his friend Lazarus is sick. By the time Jesus arrives, Lazarus has been dead for 4 days, and Jesus says something strange to his disciples. He says, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up." The disciples are confused. They say, "Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better." And Jesus has to clarify, Lazarus is dead. But notice the language. Jesus calls death sleep. Why? Because in the kingdom, sleep and death and resurrection are all part of the same process. You fall asleep to one reality, you wake up to another. That is not just biological. That is spiritual. That is the pattern heaven operates on. And tonight, you are stepping into that pattern. Think about it. Jacob fell asleep on a stone pillow and woke up having seen heaven opened. Joseph fell asleep in prison and woke up second in command of Egypt. Daniel fell asleep in a lion's den and woke up untouched. Peter fell asleep on a rooftop and woke up with a vision that changed the entire direction of the early church. Over and over in Scripture, God does his most transformative work while his people sleep. Why? Because when you are awake, you interfere. When you are asleep, he has full access. So, tonight is not just about you getting rest. Tonight is about God getting access. Access to the parts of you that are too defended during the day. Access to the wounds you have bandaged over. Access to the dreams you have buried. Access to the version of you that you have been too afraid to let out. And here is how it works. While you sleep tonight, 7 specific things are going to shift in your spirit. I am going to name them now, and I need you to listen carefully, because these are not metaphors. These are actual spiritual transactions that will take place between midnight and dawn. The first shift is this. The frequency of fear that has been running on a loop in the back of your mind is going to be interrupted. You know that frequency. It is the constant hum of what if. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if I am not enough? That frequency has been playing so long, you think it is just part of who you are. But tonight, while you sleep, God is going to reach into the control room of your subconscious and turn the dial. And when you wake up, that voice will still try to speak, but it will not have the same volume. It will sound distant, weak, like a radio station you are driving away from. The second shift is the untangling of your timeline. Right now, your past, present, and future are all knotted together. You are trying to live today while carrying yesterday and worrying about tomorrow. And that knot is choking you. But tonight, in the deepest part of your sleep, there are hands, not your hands, that are going to gently pull those threads apart. Past goes in one direction. Present stays here. Future gets handed to the one who already lives there. And when you wake up, you are going to feel something you have not felt in a long time. Presence. The ability to actually be here instead of everywhere at once. The third shift is the softening of your spine. I do not mean physically, though that might happen too. I mean spiritually. Right now, your spine is rigid because you believe if you bend, you will break. But that rigidity is what is actually breaking you. Tonight, while you sleep, the tension in your back, that knot between your shoulder blades, that stiffness in your neck, it is going to start to release. Not because you stretched, but because the spiritual load you have been carrying is being redistributed. And when you wake up, you might notice you stand a little taller, not because you are trying harder, but because you are carrying less. The fourth shift is the reopening of your throat. There are words you have been choking on for months, maybe years. Truths you needed to speak. Boundaries you needed to set. Dreams you needed to declare. But every time you tried, your throat closed. Tonight, while you sleep, something is going to unlock in your voice box. And when you wake up, the first time someone asks you a question you used to dodge, you are going to hear yourself answer with a clarity that surprises you. The words will come out clean, no hesitation, no apology, just truth. The fifth shift is the cooling of your mind. Right now, your thoughts are running hot, obsessive, circular, exhausting, like a computer with too many programs open, overheating, about to crash. Tonight, while you sleep, there is a breeze, not physical, spiritual, that is going to blow through the rooms of your mind. And it is going to close the windows you left open to worry. It is going to shut down the programs that have been draining your energy. And when you wake up, your first thought is not going to be, what do I have to do today? It is going to be, what do I get to do today? That is how you will know the shift happened. The sixth shift is the return of your dreams. And I do not just mean the dreams you have while you sleep, though those will change too. I mean the dreams you used to have about your life, the dreams you gave up on, the dreams you decided were too big, too late, too impossible. Those dreams did not die. They went into hiding, waiting for a safe enough environment to come back out. And tonight, the sanctuary is that environment. While you sleep, those dreams are going to start waking up. And when you wake up, you are going to feel a pull towards something you have not thought about in years. Do not ignore it. That is not nostalgia. That is resurrection. Now, there is a seventh shift. But I cannot tell you what it is yet, because the seventh shift is personal. It is specific to you. And it is the thing God has been waiting to give you, but could not, because your hands were too full. Tonight, when you finally let go, when you finally sleep in true surrender, He is going to place something in your hands while you are unconscious. And when you wake up, you will not see it. but you will feel it. And within 7 days, you will recognize what it is. So, those are the 7 shifts. And I need you to understand, these are not possibilities. These are prophecies. They will happen if you do what I am about to teach you next. Because here is the key. The shifts do not happen automatically just because you go to sleep. They happen because you go to sleep in a specific posture, a posture of surrender. And there is a ritual that creates that posture. I call it the 3-breath ritual. And you are going to do it tonight, right before you close your eyes. Here is how it works. When you get into bed tonight, before you lie down, before you pull the covers up, you are going to take 3 breaths, not regular breaths, covenant breaths, breaths that carry intention, breaths that unlock the sanctuary. The first breath is the breath of receiving. You are going to breathe in slowly, and as you do, you are going to think, not say out loud, just think, I receive permission to rest. And I want you to feel that breath filling your lungs, filling your chest, filling the places that have been tight. You are inhaling permission, inhaling grace, inhaling the decree that you are allowed to stop. Hold that breath for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. And then release it slowly. As you release it, think, I release the need to control tomorrow. Feel the air leaving your body, and imagine it carrying with it every plan, every worry, every mental list you have been holding. Let it go out with the breath. The second breath is the breath of transfer. You are going to breathe in again, slowly. And as you do, think, I receive the presence of the Father. And this time, I want you to imagine not just air entering your lungs, but a warmth, a presence, a weight that is comforting, not crushing. You are breathing in the awareness that you are not alone. Hold for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. And then release it. As you exhale, think, I release the burden of standing guard. And feel it leave. Feel the invisible armor you have been wearing all day slide off your shoulders with that breath. The third breath is the breath of agreement. This is the most important one. Breathe in slowly, and as you do, think, I receive the truth that rest is holy. You are not just accepting rest. You are agreeing with heaven's definition of it. That rest is not laziness. Rest is not weakness. Rest is worship. Hold that breath for 3 counts, and then release it. And as you exhale, think, I release my old identity as the one who has to hold everything together. This exhale is you letting go of the version of yourself that cannot rest. You are breathing out the old you. And when you breathe in again, naturally, without thinking, you are breathing in the new. 3 breaths, that is it, 60 seconds. But those 60 seconds are the gateway to the sanctuary. Those 60 seconds are the agreement heaven has been waiting for. And the moment you complete the 3rd breath, you are going to feel something shift in the room. You might not be able to name it, but you will know. The door just opened. Now, I need to prepare you for something. The moment you start doing this, the moment you start sleeping in true rest, 5 attacks are going to come. And if I do not tell you what they look like, you are going to think something is wrong. You are going to think the ritual did not work. But these attacks are not a sign of failure. They are a sign of success. The enemy only attacks what is working. The first attack is what I call the guilt ambush. And it happens within the first hour of you finally resting deeply. Here is what it looks like. You are drifting, maybe 30 minutes into sleep. Your body is starting to relax, your breathing is slowing, and then, suddenly, out of nowhere, a thought slams into your mind like a freight train. You do not deserve to rest while others are suffering. You should be working. You should be praying. You should be doing something. This is not your thought. This is a planted thought. And the reason it is so effective is because it sounds righteous. It sounds like conviction. But here is how you know it is an attack. Conviction from God always comes with a solution. Condemnation from the enemy always comes with shame and no way out. If the thought makes you feel guilty but gives you nothing productive to do about it, that is the enemy. And here is how you win. You do not argue with it. You do not try to justify your rest. You simply say, in your mind, this is the attack God warned me about, which means I am on the right path. Then roll over and go back to sleep. That is it. Do not engage. Just acknowledge and dismiss. The second attack is the false emergency, and this one is brutal because it feels so real. It usually happens around 3 in the morning. You are asleep, deeply asleep. And then your eyes snap open. Your heart is racing. Your mind is screaming that you forgot something critical, a deadline, a bill, a conversation, a responsibility. And the panic is so intense that you sit up, grab your phone, and start scrolling, searching for what you forgot, trying to fix the emergency. But here is the truth. There is no emergency. This is a fabricated crisis designed to pull you out of the sanctuary. The enemy knows that if you stay asleep in deep surrender, you will wake up transformed. So he creates a fake fire to get you out of the building. Here is how you recognize it. If the urgency feels like panic instead of clarity, it is an attack. God does not wake you with panic. He wakes you with peace and a clear next step. So, if you wake up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding and no clear solution, do not move. Do not grab your phone. Just whisper. This is attack number 2. I see you. You have no power here. And then, this is critical, take one deep breath and imagine closing a door in your mind. The door to that false emergency. Close it, lock it, and go back to sleep. The third attack is dream invasion. And this is the one that makes people think the ritual did not work. Because finally, you fall into a deep sleep, and then the nightmares come. Worse than usual, more vivid, more terrifying, and you wake up thinking, I did everything right. Why is this happening? Here is why. When you start sleeping in true surrender, the enemy loses access to your waking mind. He cannot torment you with anxiety during the day anymore because you have handed that over to God. So he tries to invade your sleep. But here is what you need to understand. Nightmares the night you surrender are not a sign that it is not working. They are a sign that it is working. The enemy is panicking. He is throwing everything he has at you because he knows he is losing ground. So how do you win? You do not fight the nightmare while you are in it. You fight it when you wake up. The moment you wake from a nightmare, before you even open your eyes fully, say this. That was not a message. That was noise. And noise cannot harm me. Then take 3 slow breaths, the same 3 breaths from the ritual, and go back to sleep. The nightmare will not return. I promise you. The fourth attack happens in the morning, specifically 18 minutes before your alarm. I do not know why 18 minutes, but that is the pattern I have seen over and over. You will wake up suddenly with a jolt, and the thought in your mind will be, I forgot something. I am not ready for today. And the temptation will be to get up early, to try to get a head start, to prepare for the thing you think you forgot. Do not do it. This is the enemy stealing the last piece of your rest. He waited all night. He watched you sleep through the guilt, the false emergency, the nightmares. And now, right before you are supposed to wake naturally, refreshed, he tries one last time to rob you. Here is how you win. When you wake up 18 minutes before your alarm, do not check the time. Do not grab your phone. Just close your eyes and say, I have 18 more minutes of covenant rest, and I am taking every second. Then go back to sleep. And when your alarm goes off, you will wake up with a clarity you have not felt in years. Now there is a fifth attack. But this one does not come on the first night. This one comes 3 to 7 days after you have started sleeping in true rest. And it is the most dangerous because it does not feel like an attack. It feels like wisdom. Here is what happens. You start sleeping well. You wake up feeling different, lighter, clearer, stronger. And then, around day 5 or 6, a thought comes. You know what? I do not need this anymore. I have got this figured out. I can go back to handling things myself. And because you feel better, you believe the thought. You stop doing the 3-breath ritual. You stop surrendering before bed. You start staying up late again, taking back control, standing guard. And within 48 hours, you are right back where you started, exhausted, anxious, unable to sleep. This attack is called the false graduation, and it is designed to make you think you have outgrown the very thing that saved you. Here is how you recognize it. If the thought says you do not need God's help anymore, that is not growth. That is pride. And pride always leads back to the tower. So, when that thought comes, and it will, say this: the moment I think I do not need surrender is the moment I need it most, and keep doing the ritual every single night. This is not training wheels. This is the way you were designed to live. Now, I have prepared you for battle. I have given you the ritual. I have shown you the sanctuary. I have warned you of the attacks. And now, it is time for something different. What comes next is not me talking anymore. What comes next is not teaching. What comes next is not strategy. What comes next is rest, pure, undefended, surrendered rest. And I need you to let your body start responding to what I am about to say. Let your breathing slow. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tension in your face soften, because we are entering the lullaby. In 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8, it says the enemy prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. And here is what most people miss. Lions do not attack the strongest prey. They attack the sleeping prey, the resting prey, because rest looks like vulnerability to a predator. But here is the twist. In the kingdom, rest is not vulnerability. Rest is the most protected state you can be in. Because when you are resting in God, you are surrounded by the one the lion fears. So yes, the attacks will come, but they come because you are resting in the right place, and the lion cannot touch you there. Now, I want you to hear something, and I mean really hear it. Not just with your ears, with the part of you that has been starving for this. The Father wants to speak to you directly. No intermediary, no translator, just his voice to your heart. And this is what he is saying: beloved child of mine, I see you. I see you tried so hard today. I see the smile you forced when you wanted to cry. I see the strength you faked when you were falling apart. I see the way you held the door open for someone else when you could barely stand. I see it all. And I am not disappointed. I am in awe of you. You think I am frustrated with your weakness, but I am not. I designed you to need me. Your weakness is not a flaw. It is the crack where my light gets in. And tonight, I am not asking you to be strong. I am asking you to be mine, my child, my responsibility, my joy. Do you know what brings me joy? You think it is your performance, your prayers, your sacrifice. But that is not it. What brings me joy is watching you sleep, watching you finally let go, watching you trust me enough to close your eyes in a world that taught you to keep them open. That is when I smile, not when you are striving, when you are resting. So tonight, I am going to sit beside your bed, not metaphorically. Actually, you will not see me with your physical eyes, but your spirit will know I am there. And I am going to keep watch. I am going to guard your sleep the way you have been trying to guard your own life. And I am going to let you rest the way a child rests. Completely. Without fear. Without agenda. Without the need to earn it. And while you sleep, I am going to do the work you cannot do while you are awake. I am going to untangle the knots in your mind. I am going to heal the fractures in your heart. I am going to whisper truth into the lies you have believed. And when you wake up, you will not remember the surgery, but you will feel the healing. You do not have to fix yourself tonight. You do not have to figure anything out. You do not have to be ready for tomorrow. All you have to do is sleep, and let me be God while you do. Now, I want you to breathe with me, not by yourself, with me, because every breath you take is a breath I gave you. In the book of Job, it says, "The breath of the Almighty gives me life." That is not poetry. That is biology. That is theology. Every inhale is God breathing life into you. Every exhale is you releasing what you were never meant to hold. So here is what we are going to do. For the next 90 seconds, you are going to breathe in rhythm with me, and I am going to guide you. Breathe in slowly for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel your lungs expand, not with air, with presence. Hold that breath for 2 counts. 1, 2. Now release it slowly for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you release, imagine every worry, every tension, every burden leaving your body with that breath. Let us do it again. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2. 1, 2. Now release for 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let it all go. One more time. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2. Now release for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And feel the weight lifting. Good. Something just shifted in your nervous system. You might feel it as a tingling, or a warmth, or a sudden heaviness in your limbs. That is not exhaustion. That is surrender. Your body is finally safe enough to let go, and that is exactly where you need to be. Now, I want to tell you one more story before we seal everything. His name is Marcus, and the morning after his first midnight surrender, something happened that I need you to hear, because what happened to him is what is about to happen to you. Marcus woke up at 6:32 in the morning. He knows the exact time because the first thing he did was look at the clock, not to check if he was late, but because he could not believe he had slept through the entire night. For the first time in 9 months, he did not wake up at 3 a.m. He did not wake up in a panic. He did not wake up at all until his body was ready. And here is what he noticed first. It was not that he felt rested. It was that he felt different. He sat up in bed. not the usual roll out of bed before I change my mind motion. He sat up. 2 separate movements, like he was learning how to move again. Like his body had forgotten it did not have to fight gravity. He put his feet on the floor, and the floor felt cold, which sounds like nothing. But Marcus said he had not actually felt the floor in months. He had been walking around, numb, disconnected from his own body. And that morning, the coldness of the floor was like a shock of presence, like his nervous system had been offline and just rebooted. He walked to the bathroom, looked in the mirror. And this is the part that still makes him cry when he tells the story. He did not recognize his own face, not because he looked worse, but because he looked like himself again. The tension lines around his eyes were softer, the tightness in his jaw was gone, his shoulders were not up by his ears, and for the first time in what felt like forever, he smiled at his reflection. Not a forced smile, a real one. But here is the moment that changed everything. He went to make coffee, and as he was waiting for the water to boil, he realized he was humming. Just a random tune. No words, just sound. And he stopped mid-hum and thought, when was the last time I hummed? When was the last time I made sound just because I felt like it? And he could not remember. That is how dead he had been inside. And that morning, he came back to life. Within 3 days, Marcus quit the job that had been draining him for 2 years. Within 7 days, he had a conversation with his brother that they had been avoiding for 5 years. Within 21 days, he started writing again, something he had given up on a decade ago, and all of it started with one night. One surrender. One decision to stop standing guard and let the Father watch. I am telling you Marcus's story because what happened to him is not special. It is the pattern. It is what happens when you actually do what we have talked about tonight. And if you do the 3-breath ritual before you sleep, if you walk through the transfer, if you enter the sanctuary, if you survive the 5 attacks, then what happened to Marcus will happen to you. Not someday. Soon. But before you go to sleep tonight, we need to seal this. We need to make this official, because everything we have done so far has been preparation, and now we activate it. This is not a prayer. This is a ceremony, an activation, and you are going to participate. I need you to do something right now. If you are able, place your right hand over your heart. If you cannot, then just imagine it there. Feel the rhythm. That beat is not random. That is the drum of heaven inside your chest. Now, in your mind, open your left hand, palm up, receiving position. You are about to receive something that has been prepared for you before the foundations of the earth. This posture matters. In the name of Yeshua, the shepherd who never sleeps, in the authority of the Father who keeps watch while his children rest, by the power of the Holy Spirit who hovers over the deep waters of your exhaustion, I stand in this threshold moment, this sacred pause between your last waking breath and your first surrendered sleep, and I declare heaven is open over you right now. The atmosphere is shifting. Portals of rest that have been closed for months are creaking open. Angels assigned to your sleep are taking their positions. This is not ordinary. This is divine intervention. Father, you know this chosen one. You know about the 3 a.m. ceiling stairs. You know about the nights they whispered prayers into darkness that felt like hitting concrete. You know about the mornings they woke up more tired than when they went to bed. You know the fear, the specific fear, that if they close their eyes, something will go wrong that they could have prevented. You see the invisible armor they wear to bed. the mental checklist they run through 17 times before attempting sleep. You see the exhaustion they hide, the tears they cry where no one can see. You see it all, and you are not disappointed. You are here. And now, Father, I seal what has been taught tonight. I seal the revelation of the guard duty transfer, the image of descending the watchtower, hearing your footsteps behind them, and the words you spoke, I have got the night shift. May this truth sink into their bones. I seal the vision of the midnight sanctuary, that sacred space between sleep and dawn where you do reconstruction work. The 7 rooms, the unburdening, the mending, the return of dreams, let this become more real to them than their anxiety. I seal the 3-breath ritual. Breath 1, receiving permission to rest. Breath 2, transferring the burden of standing guard. Breath 3, agreeing that rest is holy. May their lungs remember this rhythm when their mind forgets. I seal the truth of the 3 levels, that tonight is not just rest but restoration and resurrection. They will not just wake up rested. They will wake up new. I seal the 7 shifts, the untangling of timelines, the softening of the spine, the reopening of the throat, the cooling of the mind, the return of dreams, and the 7th shift, the personal one, that you will place in their hands while they sleep. And now I bind the spirit of hypervigilance that whispers you cannot let your guard down. I bind the spirit of false responsibility that says if you rest, you are weak. I bind the nightmare frequency that has invaded their sleep. I bind the 3 a.m. panic attacks. I bind the guilt that follows rest. I bind the voice that says you do not deserve this. You are bound by the blood of the Lamb, and you have no legal access to this child's sleep from this night forward. And now I do not ask, I declare. Within the next 3 nights, this chosen one will experience a sleep so deep they will wake up confused about what day it is, what time it is, and how long they have been out. And that confusion will be evidence that heaven did surgery while they were unconscious. Within the next 7 nights, someone will look at them and say, something is different about you. You look lighter. And they will not be able to explain it, but it will be true. Within the next 21 nights, the recurring nightmare that has been on repeat will stop mid-scene, and a voice they have never heard in a dream will say, this is not your movie anymore, wake up. And they will. Within the next 40 nights, they will sleep through an entire night and wake up having forgotten they used to have insomnia. The healing will be so complete, they will not even remember the struggle. I declare these outcomes not as possibility, but as divine inevitability. It is already done in the courts of heaven. We are just waiting for the earth realm to catch up. Now, chosen one, I have a question for you, and I need you to answer out loud, even if you are alone. Will you carry this midnight surrender with you? Will you practice the 3-breath ritual tonight? Will you lie down in your bed and whisper, Father, I am off duty now? If yes, say it. Say yes out loud right now. I heard you. And more importantly, heaven heard you. Your yes just activated a frequency. Angels who have been on standby are now moving into position. The sanctuary door just recognized your voice. You are in. You are dismissed from the watchtower of your own life. You are released from the night shift you were never meant to work. You are relieved of duty, effective immediately. Go to bed, not because you are tired, but because you are loved. And do not say, Amen, not yet. Just sit in this silence for 10 seconds and feel what just shifted in the room. Now, the Father is already in your bedroom, waiting for you. Go meet him there. Good night, chosen one. You are going to sleep like a child tonight.